Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We have a really special 3-minute blueprint update today. We actually have Baltimore City Council President and Democratic nominee for mayor, Brandon Scott, joining us today. Thank you so much for joining us, Council President.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So we're just going to jump straight into it with our 3 questions in 3 minutes. The first is, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your role as Council President?
Yes, listen, I'm Baltimore born and bred, lived here my whole life outside of 4 years on the St. Mary's River at St. Mary's College of Maryland. And as the council president, I lead Baltimore's legislative body in passing laws for Baltimore City. I also chair the Board of Estimates, which does the big contracts and procurement for Baltimore City.
So you've been in government for quite some time, and so you've seen the impact that government can have on schools. And so my second question is, how would the blueprint for Maryland's future, if we overrode the veto, how would that benefit those that you were elected to serve?
Well, listen, Joe, the reality is, as I said, I am a Baltimorean through and through. I grew up in Baltimore in Park Heights. I lived in a neighborhood that the world descends on for a certain Saturday in May for Preakness, and that every other day of the year, I, myself, my family, my friends, we cease to be seen as even human by the rest of our city government and individuals in our city. I went to schools with no heat and air. I had no air conditioning classroom until my 9th grade year at Mervo, but also growing up and going to Malcolm X Primary, Dr. King Elementary, I actually had a chance happen for me that didn't happen to many of my friends who are not here, those who are no longer with us, those who are addicted to drugs or serving time in jail. I had the opportunity, Joe, to go not to Green Spring Middle School, but to go to Roland Park for middle school. And that changed the trajectory of my life. It should not be just because I went to Roland Park Middle School that I'm a lot more likely to be successful than those who grew up in my zip code that live next door to me just because of where I went to school. And the blueprint would change the future for Baltimore's young people, because there isn't a lack of promise. There isn't a lack of intelligence in our young people. Our young people in Baltimore have proven to be young people that can do things and miss things that will break most adults. The commitment to make sure that we're investing fully in their future and their promise and not in their failure is what's lacking. Providing a world-class education for young people in Baltimore will help Baltimore become the greatest Baltimore it has ever been, because we will be cultivating our most precious resource, the young minds in Baltimore.
Awesome. So one word I want to hit on that you just talked about is opportunity, and that's what the blueprint is about. It's about opportunity. So as legislators start thinking about going back to session, do you have a message for them as they think about the blueprint for Maryland's future and the veto from Governor Hogan?
Yeah, and it's that word, opportunity. We have the opportunity to do what we all know is right for Maryland, for all of the young people in Maryland, for the future of Maryland. The question remains is, do we have the courage to do it? We should override, the legislature should override the veto, because now is the time when we have to fully invest in education. Because of the world that's changing around us and changing for our young people, we have to fully invest in them, and the only way to do that is to override the veto to make sure the blueprint goes into law.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Council President Scott and Democratic nominee for mayor. We really appreciate your time, and we hope that you tune into our future conversations. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.